machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Follow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, and the Foxes Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, there you go. We did it. 3-2 to Leicester. Convincing? Yeah, listen, I think we were fully in control. 79% possession. Plenty of chances. Comment your views. 3-2 to Leicester. Top of the table. It's what we need. Again, I'll say it time and time again. 3 points is the most important thing. It's nice to be entertained. It's nice for all the other bits. It's nice to score goals. It's nice to clean sheets. It doesn't always happen. Matty gets his first comment in here. If you're watching this, watching it live, get your views in, get your comments in. Matty says, making it far too tough. Did we make hard work of that? In there, Liam says, Enzo Ball, how to suck the enjoyment out of watching football. As you know, I apologise at half time. I've got a season ticket at the King Power. I couldn't get there tonight. I've watched it on the red button with no replays, which is a strange experience, but hey, listen, 3 goals, 3 points, back to the top of the table. For me, that's happy days, but at times, it is a bit of a tough watch. I still say that. Adam says, 3 points next. I agree. Just bring on the next team. It's Birmingham. It's Monday. Give us 3 more points. Let's move on upwards and outwards. John O'Towers said we dominated most of it, but made it hard for ourselves. Do you agree with what John O says there? I think Daka got the second goal. I think he touched in. It was almost going in. What did you think to Daka's performance? Ricardo Pereira got a goal there. Listen, a bit of a sloppy one to let in to make it 3-2, because really it feels like we did dominate that game and we were sort of cruising. So who was man of the match for you for Leicester today? Which was the best goal? Why did you pick that? Was it a bit of a tough watch? Do you care? Is it just 3-0? 3 points, 3-2 to Leicester, 3-0. We'll take that. Charlie says here, don't forget, you can get your views, you can get your comments in, and we'll talk about it. Charlie says, a win's a win, but teams are starting to understand how we play. As a fan, I lack confidence with it so much. Playing around with it at the back, we'll get caught out more soon, I think, but 3 more points. Charlie, listen, I keep saying this in my Monday night fan zone shows, and I'll say it now. That was Millwall. They're 18th, 19th in the league. That was Plymouth. They're 18th, 19th in the league. These aren't great teams. This championship is not great standard at all. This is not the Premier League. This is not the Europa League. This is not some of the games and teams we've been playing over the past 7 or 8 years. We should be convincingly beating teams like Plymouth and Millwall. We have beaten them, so let's not grumble. But if we played like that against, I think, almost any team in the Premier League, I don't think we would win. I'm just being honest. Listen, you may disagree with me, but I think if you play like that in the Premier League, I don't think you're going to beat many teams. I really don't. Dean says, a win is a win. I agree with you. I'm not grumbling. A win is a win. Joe says, we did what we needed to. We're back to top of the league. But don't think you can say we're making it tough when we are top of the league with 52 points, 17 wins out of 21. I agree. Hear what you're saying. It's tough when people are grumbling and moaning. I'm one of those who does grumble. I want to be entertained a little bit, but most of all, I just want 3 points. So if we got the 3 points tonight like we did, I'll take that. That is the number one thing. Like somebody said, move on next, Birmingham. Get the 3 points and get on with it. Ben Morgan says, overthinking it all the time, making it hard on ourselves, watching it in there. Callum says, thinks Daka was man of the match. Okay, do you agree with that? get your views in, get your comments in. Who do you think was man of the match? I'm not sure. I would give it to Daka, but I think it was one of those performances myself where there was a lot of 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10s. Fatawa in the first half was quite electric, and then they changed their fullback at half time, and Fatawa don't really think he did much in the second half, if I'm honest. John O'Tower says, I wish we could play like that 15 minutes after half time more often, much quicker and tempo. First half was so different. Again, just like we did against Plymouth, that 10 minutes after half time, what did Enzo say at half time? But it's like we did play at a different pace and then we eased back. Roscoe says late goal again. I believe as well, Roscoe, I think that's the 7th or 8th goal we've let in from a set piece, one of the highest in the Championship, believe it or not. Phil Doherty says almost got it right with a 3-1 at half time. Gary Wright says lost 5 minutes, fell asleep at 3 points onto the next game. Somebody in the Facebook group says Fatawa was man of the match. Do you agree with that? Who was man of the match in there? John Simpson, thanks for watching. John says we need to start playing from the off. Another shocking first half. It was. Hey, listen, it's a cold night. It's December. You know, obviously, I wasn't there. I was watching at home for various reasons. Disappointed not to be there, but it was a poor first half. Fatawa was man of the match. I'd say Fatawa was man of the first half. Not sure about the second half. He says, good result, but hard work. Joe says, hi, mate. We aren't in the Premier League. Let's get that back there first. Joe, you're quite right. You're quite right. We can't think about the Premier League yet. I'm just saying that was Plymouth. That was Millwall. They ain't great teams. I just, honestly, I'm allowed to call it because we are hoping, Joe, we are back in that Premier League very, very quickly. I just think if we play like that, I don't know, maybe it'll work. Ben says, play like this in the Premier League, we'll be relegated by next Christmas. Ben, I happen to agree with you at the moment, but it's a long time before we're back there. John Tower says, we'll need a few upgrades if we do get to the Premier League. This team isn't good enough for the Premier League. Callum says, we've got to be careful of Ipswich. Massive game on Boxing Day, Callum. Massive. We'll see where we're at then. So many fans, not just Leicester fans, saying, oh, Ipswich will drop off before long. I don't see it. I think they're doing really, really well. It's going to be a big one. We play them on Boxing Day. We play them about 3 weeks later in January as well. It is going to be very, very interesting. Daniel says, great performance. The ref was awful, didn't help at all. Missed a big penalty shout in the first half, but hey, that will happen. I love the fact, the one thing I do love in the Championship is the ref wasn't great, yada, yada, yada. At no point does anybody put a comment on here ever and say, if only there was VAR, we'd have had a penalty in the first half. Nobody ever makes that comment at all. So I think that's always interesting. I've got Jono, looks like he's clicking in. Jono, he says, give me a minute. He wants to get his views on. Foxes on YouTube says record breakers, which is good to see. Millwall almost had as many fouls as they did possession. They did indeed. They had, I think we have 79% possession. It's a lot of Enzo ball in there. Phil Howard, hope you're well, Phil, says Mabadini wasn't much good. Fatawa was good by comparison. John says no VAR is good. I know. Let's get there first, says Gary, talking about the Premier League, and then we can judge. I agree. Listen, hey, let's just get back to the Premier League. I'm just saying Millwall and Plymouth, they're not great. So I do think we should be beating them. Callum says, I like Enzo, to be honest, the way he's building the squad up and teaching them like Ranieri. That will be interesting to see how he does there. Jono is ready to come in. Let's get Jono's views in. Here you go, Jono.
How are you?
I'm good, Jono. How are you?
No, good. The game's finished. Very nervous ending.
Yeah. But the job was done, Jono.
Yeah, job was done. Enzo, shouted at them at the half time and told them to get their act together. They did. I'm really, really chuffed for Daka. I'm really happy that he's found some form, scoring goals. He deserves it. He's been out for a long time, so happy for him. Fatawa first off was just, he didn't do anything, but he was the only one who's doing something. He was unreal. It was just some really good performances in there. That ball just down the wing to Dewsbury Hall was just that was unreal. just why make some stupid mistakes at the back? That's a few times now where we've conceded for it, like against Sheffield Wednesday, it's stupid goal from a corner. Today, stupid goal from a corner. So if we get rid of these silly mistakes in the last few minutes of the game, we'll be fine. But apart from that, yeah, really good performance in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel says here, we'll keep getting comments on while you're on, Jono. He says the fact that we're breaking records and there's still room for improvement is good. We're heading in the right direction. Callum says, you're letting fans join, or would that be another night? Well, Jono's joined us already, Callum. So if you want to join in, Callum, click on the link and come and see us. Jono, listen, again, a little bit like Saturday, Millwall came with a bit of a game plan. The first half I found a tough watch, if I'm being honest. It wasn't that. Yeah, it was tough, and obviously we were a goal down. But at half time, I think many fans were still positive that we'd had plenty of possession. A blistering 7 or 8 minutes again sorted it out for us. Yes,
like even when we conceded, we went at them. We didn't just sit back and wait until the second half. We went at them. Unlucky to not score, actually, because we had 3 good chances. I don't know how that wasn't a penalty. From behind, took out his legs. I don't know how that wasn't a penalty, but still, we didn't let that affect us. We went at them hard, and second half, we just, quickly just shut them down. The game was finished. They were silenced.
Yeah, I mean, again, I do love it, Jono, that nobody in the Championship, I never see any fans ask for VAR, even when there is a bad decision like that. Nobody's saying there's been a penalty in the first half. I wish we had. I don't care that there's no VAR. Do you?
I think what does it means there's no excuses. Like, in the Premier League, we're like, we lost, and we're like, even though we played rubbish, played crap, we could be like, we blame the refs, we blame the VAR. We can't do that this year. We just have to get on with it. And if we did have a bad performance, we had a bad performance. It should have been a penalty, yes, but we got on with it, and we showed we won by our own gameplay, not by bad decisions from the referee.
Yeah, Jono, Connor Cody, says Callum, got the experience and needs to be played more regularly. I've seen various other comments, not impressed by Connor Cody. I think Connor Cody is potentially the future of Leicester's defensive line, and I think he'll be captain, and he should be good enough for the Premier League, and hopefully we get there. But there is mixed views on Connor Cody. What's your take?
I think, obviously, he was unlucky to have that big injury before the season started, and I think what's happening is he's slowly being introduced back. And I think Enzo's long-term of him is to make him that key defender, and I think the roles will rotate. I think Vestergaard will be the one in the the background, like the sub, and then Cody will be the main one. But I'm happy. I think he should get more game time, but especially with all these games coming up, rotate them slowly. I think Cody will start against who are playing next?
Birmingham on Monday.
Birmingham, yeah. So I think it'll be Cody starts then, and then after that it will be, it'll just rotate again. So I'm happy that he's still playing well, but I think I agree slowly to do something. I don't think he's been bad at all. It's like Evans, he has the voice in the background, even though he's not playing. He's a massive attitude to have in the background at games. Yeah, David says the next game will be interesting. Vardy v Shrek. That's obviously the Birmingham trip on Monday in there. Yeah. Foxes on YouTube says nicer to have the bigger cushion over Leeds. Absolutely. And Southampton drew. So we have now, that Leeds gap has gotten bigger to Southampton. So teams are you've got the front 3 runners, Leeds, Ipswich and us. The rest of these teams are starting to drift away now. So we're hoping for one of Leeds or Ipswich to start dropping off. One of those two start dropping off. We'll just need to come first or second. I don't care about the points record. I don't care. It'd be nice to win. Just get us promoted. That's the biggest one I care about. Yeah, I'm with you on Jono. Of course, I'd love us to win the championship. I don't care. Record tallies don't interest me at all. I'd like to win the championship for sure. But I'm just, as long as we go up in the top 2, that'll do me. Locke says here, who's on his own crusade that nobody's allowed to grumble ever. He says, unfortunately, people still won't be happy, even winning a game and being top of the league. When did we become such an ungrateful and unappreciated fan base? My only comments back to Locks is, I always
I come at this from a fan who's watched for many, many years, Jono, longer than you because I'm a lot older. But my point of view this season is I very much come from a fan where we've just had 8 years in the Premier League, and we've been not only Premier League top half, top 5, winning the bloody thing, Champions League, Europa League. We were disappointed. We were disappointed, Jono, to be playing in the Europa Conference League. So that's my bar is like up here now. So I am going to be critical when we're playing teams like Millwall and we're losing 1-0 at home. You know,
I mean, I'm buzzing we're winning.
Yeah,
it's just the fact if we lost or conceded a goal to a very good goal, the first goal was from a little mistake, but to be fair, that was a great goal. Like that had a top right corner. You can't save that. It's a good goal. The second goal, bad defending. You know, it was a scramble. Why couldn't we clear it? If those mistakes are still with us, they can cost us. So yes, I'm buzzing. Yeah, I can praise the team till my blue in the face. But if we're still having these silly mistakes every week, like we'll be 2 points more clear if we didn't do that against Sheffield Wednesday. That's could be the difference between storming off into the distance of the Championship or just, you know, being shadowed very closely by other teams. You know what I mean? So that's all the negative I can say, really.
Yeah. And again, I'll give Locks explains further here. He's not saying you can't criticise anything, as he's just criticised Cody. However, I just feel people are looking at the bad things first instead of the good things, which is fair enough, Locks. I get that. I totally get it. I'd like to say my bar is up here from several years in the Premier League, European competition. So I feel very let down still this season that we are down here. So I just want to get out of it. John Simpson, I'd probably agree with John Simpson. He says we're not winning well. The style of play is shocking. I wouldn't quite agree with shocking, John. It's tough to watch at times, but
it is. The key word in there is winning. We're winning.
Yeah.
That's the main word. We're winning well. Some games we're winning. Plymouth, we stomped them. We played excellent. Against Sunderland, we were all like, you know what, we're very lucky to win that. You know what I mean? But we won both of them. That's what I care about. Shall I bring in other Jono and Callum?
If you can, I'm on the phone at the moment, Jono. So if you can control it better than me, go for it.
I'll bring those two in. So I'm having Jono and Callum.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Wait, Jono, you sound saying something again, Jono. You sound quite bad.
Can you not hear me?
You sound very staticky.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me better?
I've got rid of Callum because he sounds like a Dalek. Jono.
Jono sounds like the Dalek.
Do I sound like a bot?
I'll swap him over.
You sound like a Dalek. Sorry, Jono.
He sounds like a Dalek.
Oh, you're right.
Go on then, Callum. Give us your views on Leicester winning 3-2 tonight. And you can be honest.
To be honest, I thought when Millwall scored, I was really scared when Millwall scored. I thought, you know what, we're not going to win this because obviously they look dangerous sometimes. And even when they go on the counter-attack, I thought we weren't going to win it. But when we got that 3 goals, I thought, yeah, we won this. So I was just so scared when they scored those 2 goals and it panicked me, even towards the end.
Yeah, but we got the 3 points in the end, Callum.
Yeah, that's what the main thing is, just about getting the 3 points. So I know we lost to like Leeds in Middlesbrough, but we bounce back from those. We can always bounce back from those wins and just always keep pressing the other teams who gives us like dangerous counter-attacks and everything like that.
Yeah, sure. Ryan asked, did none of you attend the game? Ryan, I've already said I've got a season ticket. I couldn't get there tonight, I'm afraid. Jono lives in Newcastle. Callum didn't make it tonight. But
I live in Birmingham and I work there as a steward, you see, so I can go to any game for free. So
it's fine. It's fine. Listen, we're all still fans wherever we are watching from around the world. Ben Morgan says
definitely going to the Birmingham game.
Yeah, you're looking forward to that. Callum, before I let you go, that Birmingham game, again, it's going to be important. You say you're going to that. Jamie Vardy, do you think I don't know if he'll be fit back for it, or Daka? You've been quite pleased to see Daka get a couple of goals.
I'm quite pleased to see Daka again, just to start another game, just to see if he scores and everything like that. So.
Oh, I think Callum's gone.
We've lost Callum. Callum, thanks a lot for joining us. I think
no
your connection's gone, but see you at the Birmingham game. Thanks, Callum. Jono, yeah, so we were just touching on Daka there. Been nice to see Daka get a bit of play. I had a little sneaky bet on Cannon to score a goal, I've got to be honest, when he came on. But again, didn't really get much of a chance. I thought a great game for him to get some game time, maybe have a chance, but didn't see much again from Cannon.
I think he did well to help in the involvement of the second goal with the third goal with Ricardo's goal. Like, he had the shot, it was deflected, but apart from that, didn't have a chance to do much. I think he needs. I would actually start him against Millwall. I want him to have a full in the FA Cup. I want him to have a full game and properly see him actually play. Because I think coming on the second half when you're kind of comfortably winning 2-1 is a bit harsh because we can't really judge him on that. Put him in the game when we're actually trying to get the equaliser or get the leading goal. That's when I'll really judge him.
Yeah, Jono, let's see if we can hear you here. John Simpson says, one thing is we have scored 7 goals in 2 games with no Vardy or no Nacho. Ryan says he asks, were we at the match or not? Because sometimes when you're at home, you don't get to see the movement off the ball. I thought we played well. I think, do you know what? I don't know where you guys watched the match. I watched it on Sky Red Button. Never watched a match on Sky Red Button like that before. There was one camera angle, no replays, and it was just a long shot. So it was almost like being at the match, Jono, on Red Button, if you've ever watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it on the Fox's Hub with Jerry Taggart, the legend. And I think it's fair to say from the comments he was making and the stuff I was hearing from Ewan Robertson and Matt Elliott at half time, they're very aligned with what we're talking about in terms of the, giving the ball away and gifting them goals, to be honest. I mean, they took their goal really nicely in the first half, but it was basically down to us giving the ball away that gifted them the possession high up the pitch, and they swung the nice cross in and they nodded it in nicely. It was a good finish, but it was needless. We didn't need to give that ball away. It was just overthinking it and overplaying it, which gifted them the possession, which allowed them to create the chance in the first place. And then that corner at the end was laughable, really. So those 2 goals, I think, could have been avoided through mistakes that we've made ourselves. I was really chuffed that we were able to up the tempo after half time and blow them away again. It's exactly the same pattern that we saw the other night. We had an awful first half, and then they come out in the second half and blow them away, and then they kind of sit back on that and sort of tippy-tappy it about again and slow the tempo down. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, why don't we go and get the 4th goal? Why not?
And again, Jono, we were talking on Monday about some of this stuff, and again, people criticise us for being critical, but it can be frustrating because, like I said earlier to Jono, there's too many Jonos on this show. It is hard. We've just won 3-2, but that's a poor team comparison to teams we've played over the last couple of years. That's not a great team, that Millwall team or the Plymouth team. And tonight, in the end, 3-2, it was a bit of a scrape at times. And yet we could have, if you'd have said we'd won 6-1 in that tonight, we could have easily done that.
Yeah, let's be honest with ourselves. Look at the squad we've got. Look at the budget we've got. Look at the players that we've got and the manager even that we've got. We should be beating these teams and beating them convincingly, in many respects. You look at a lot of the teams, they're very, very poor teams, I think. And I think you could label it as being arrogant, but I think we should be expecting to beat these teams. I mean, it's one thing saying it and another thing doing it. So we are doing the right things by beating them. But I think we shouldn't be afraid to say, look at the squad we've got and the budget we've got compared with all these other teams. We should be rolling them over on paper, and I know it's easy to say that, and they've got to go out and do it, which
Yeah,
they
he's
are.
got to do it.
They are doing it to their credit, but they're only doing what I think we should be expecting them to do.
Yeah.
Mean,
John. Go on, Jono.
It doesn't mean though, like we can't go the whole season about losing games. Like, you know, in the FA Cup, you know, you have massive, you know, shocking defeats where, you know, a small team beats a big team. It happens. There's no team who can ever go for the whole Champions League season without losing or drawing a game. It's pretty much impossible because it's so competitive. And just think of it, all these, yes, there's some really poor teams in there, but I reckon 99% of these teams are old Premier League teams. You know, they're not just like shabby teams that are in a different world. They are ex-Premier League teams. So there is a lot of quality, and we are going to lose games, but so we can't just lose our heads every time we lose and think, oh, we're going to lose every single game. So we can't be critical like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that on paper we should be beating these teams. It's not to say that every week we will, and you know, there's every so often we're going to slip up. That's expected to happen. I think you can't win every single game as much as we want them to, but I think majority of the time we should be expecting them to be dominating the game and coming away with 3 points. That's my view on this league. There's probably only a handful of teams that we probably would question that, you know, could, you know, we might not get a result against, and they're the likes of the ones that have gone down. Leeds and Southampton. You might say Ipswich is going to be a tricky test. That's going to be an interesting one over Christmas, isn't it? See how we get on against them, because they're really flying. And to be honest, if we beat them convincingly, then I would say, well, there you go. There's a real great performance at this level, because we're beating the teams that are up there in and around. And when we played Leeds, we lost against Leeds. So that was, you know, you could say, well, was that really his first proper test against a decent team?
I agree. Jono from Newcastle, I totally agree with what other Jono said there. Is that that double header almost of Ipswich on Boxing Day and then 3 weeks into January is going to be very interesting, because probably some of the toughest challenges we've had this season, the Leeds game we lost, the Borough away game we lost. Yes, we've won like Sunderland at home. Yes, we won away at Southampton at home. But that Boxing Day, as Andy Wright says there, is going to be a cracker.
It will
and
be.
It will be where we can start to honestly judge a little bit better where we're at, because, you know, it won't be easy.
There's one game you're forgetting, and that was West Brom away. Now, that for me was a good. For me,
we were lucky, Jono. We pinched that. We were lucky.
You know, what I'm thinking is, though, if we manage to beat West Brom away, like most teams have lost there, because that's like the fortress. If we managed to, we just scraped a win, yes, but we won there. So if we can do that against West Brom, then I think that's a test for Maresca. Like the players did, if that was Brendan Rodgers, our heads would have dropped and we would have lost that. No, would have lost that. Heads would have dropped, but we didn't. We fought back and we got the win. So if we could do that against Ipswich, again, a very tough place to go to, then I think that's his second big test. West Brom was the first big test.
I've got a big question for both of you. We'll start with Jono, Crystal Palace, Jono, in there. We're missing the most important discussion of the day. Whose was the best somersault, Daka's or Fatower's?
Wow. Well, I'm going to say Daka, because actually I was watching it with my wife and she rarely watches the games with me. And when Daka scored and he did his somersault, she was like, wow. So from our perspective, that got a wow in our house. So I'll go with the Daka. And I'm really pleased.
What about you, Jono?
To be honest, I'm pleased for him.
Well, Daka's for somersault for me, and I'm going to do my man of the match. I'm going to give my man of the match to Daka, and that's not because maybe he wasn't. I don't think he was the absolute best player of the whole game, no, but I feel like he deserves it from me, because in the first half he ran everywhere. He chased out every man. You know, he got tackles in. He got the goal, the second goal for us to, you know, be comfortable in the game. So I have to give it to. I'm going to give my man of the match to Daka.
Okay, Jono, other Jono, who was your man of the match before we go?
Fatower, I think. based on his first half, all the good stuff in the first half was coming through him, and we weren't great in the first half, but the ball was going to him, and he was beating his man every time. And anything, if we were going to score, it was going to come from him. So based on his first half performance, I would say him. But yeah, I'm pleased with that too.
A great first 45 battle, but completely nothing in the second half because they made that sub. I think they sussed out what was going on. Anyway, guys, listen, 3 points, another win, top of the table, sets it up nicely for Birmingham next Monday. Jono, thanks so much for joining us.
Cheers, Phil.
And Jono from Crystal Palace, well done for tidying up your shelves a bit better.
Yeah, thanks for that, Phil. I'm glad to see the difference.
Right, we'll see you guys soon.
See you later.
Cheers, guys. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Disappointed I wasn't at the game there, but I am looking forward to, obviously, Monday's game at Birmingham. We'll see you all soon. Thanks for getting your views and your comments in. Hopefully, we're going live tomorrow morning with Jamie and with Tom and with me and with Reedy. So if you're around tomorrow lunch, stay tuned. We'll be doing a special little live because we're all in the same office together. Thanks for everybody who's watched this, and we'll see you very, very soon. Don't forget, Locks is on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Fox is Focus.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit LeicesterFanTV.com for all the latest news, views and videos.